Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam. It's the first Saturday of the month, and you all know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Movie Nerds Club, and this month we're all going to be counting down our top 5 movies based on TV shows. Upon doing some research for this, it was actually quite a hard list to make. Just off the top of my head, I was having trouble remembering some movies based on TV shows that I actually liked. Then I looked it up and I realized, wow, there's actually some good ones in here. So here are a couple of honorable mentions, well, 2 to be specific. The first Mission Impossible and Drake and Josh Go to Hollywood. Yeah, I know. Having those two grouped together seems real different, but the first Mission Impossible movie is still really good, and I think because Ghost Protocol, the best one, Rogue Nation, and Fallout were so good, the first 3 Mission Impossible movies have been kind of forgotten. And so whenever I can sing the praises of the first Mission Impossible, I absolutely will. I mean, watch the Langley heist if you want proof of that. And as far as Drake and Josh Go to Hollywood goes, that's primarily a nostalgia pick. I loved that show growing up, and watching this movie on Nickelodeon, it was like my Avengers Endgame at the time. Yeah, I know. It's not an especially stellar movie, but it's one that I had a ton of fun with and played into my Drake and Josh nostalgia, so it is an honorable mention. So with those out of the way, let's get into the list proper, starting with number 5. Number 5, Dragnet. There is a good chance you've probably never even heard of this movie, but honestly, it's one of my favorite performances from Dan Aykroyd, and it also stars Tom Hanks in a role before he would become, well, Tam Honks, like the guy that we all know and love. This is based on the original Dragnet TV series of the same name. And I love just the chemistry between Joe Friday and Pat Strebeck, how they're just so ideologically different in every conceivable aspect, but they always manage to get the job done. It's also nice to have Harry Morgan there, who was in the original TV show, and it was always nice to see Christopher Plummer, may he rest in peace, in anything. And I just love how cheesy this movie is. I mean, the villain organization in this movie is literally called People Against Goodness and Normalcy. P-A-G-A-N. Pagan. That's about as subtle as this movie gets. But I've always considered this to be a bit of a hidden gem, and I recommend everyone check it out. Number 4, Downton Abbey, the motion picture. I have a bit of a confession to make. I love Downton Abbey. I really shouldn't, because in terms of my tastes, it goes against pretty much everything that I search out for. I love action, I love horror, sci-fi. Downton Abbey should be the last thing I would ever watch. But I love it. At the time of this recording, my mom and I have been watching the series, and we are literally on the final episode. And it's gonna hurt, leaving this show and leaving Lord and Lady Grantham, Mary, Edith, Tom, and of course Bates and Anna. God bless those two. But it's gonna be nice to see them in even a sequel to the movie that is going to be coming out in a couple weeks. And so, with that in mind, I couldn't not put Downton Abbey the motion picture here. This is pretty much Downton Abbey doing Downton Abbey things. So if you are into that, then you are going to love this. I actually went into it kind of blind. My mom was really looking to see it, even though we didn't know about the show. But we both loved it, and it offered a gateway into watching the series proper. So, in that way, it had to go on my list. Number 3, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Yet another confession that I have to make. I love Breaking Bad. I think it's one of the greatest TV shows ever made. From top to bottom, you cannot replicate that. And believe me, Better Call Saul, which its final season is airing right now, is excellent and in some ways better than Breaking Bad. But you can never recapture the magic of prime Breaking Bad, specifically seasons 3 to the end. Not to say 2 and 1 aren't good, because they're great, but season 3 and 4 in particular are just some of the best television ever made. And so when I heard that this movie, El Camino, was being made by Netflix, I was like, uh-oh. Because the finale, Felina, was so excellent that I was so worried that they were just going to undo stuff. They didn't. They actually gave about as good a send-off to the Jesse Pinkman character as you could ever ask for. Aaron Paul just crushes this. And it's also special because I believe, if my memory serves, this was the final film performance of Robert Forster. May he rest in peace. He was the disappearer in the Breaking Bad universe, and I'm gonna miss that guy, not gonna lie. Makes me want to order a dust filter for a Hoover vacuum. If I had to have a knock against the movie, it's that you really have to be into Breaking Bad in order for the emotional weight to hit you, because this movie is basically the happy ending for the Jesse Pinkman character, someone who has just been constantly crapped on for about 5 seasons of television. This is his thank you for your service. It's glorious to watch, but the impact is doubled when you know exactly what you're getting into. You can watch it just plain, just fine, but it really does help to know the show. That's really my only issue. The rest of the movie is excellent. Number 2, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Based on the TV show Monty Python's Flying Circus, and do I even really need to say anything? It's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You're probably thinking of about 5 or 6 quotes from the movie itself. I mean, it's one of the funniest movies ever made. Let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place. Let's move on to number 1. And my favorite movie that was based on a TV show is Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. This seems like a bit of a basic choice, but you know what? I don't care. This movie's awesome. It was a bit of a trend during the Schumacher Batman years that the Schumacher films were pretty silly, and the stuff made for kids, meaning Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and The Adventures of Batman and Robin, were somehow more mature, aka the stuff meant for children, than the stuff made for adults. And that goes double for Mask of the Phantasm. This movie is efficient. In less than 90 minutes, it tells a complete Batman story from beginning to end, with no fat, no gristle. It's just prime age Wagyu, and it is awesome. The animation is, of course, brilliant. You get a great original villain in the Phantasm, who should be made canon. Come on, DC, what are you doing? And some great all-time Batman moments, like when Batman is talking to his parents at the gravesite, or the final battle with him and Joker when the explosion happens and Joker just lets out the creepiest and greatest Joker laugh you will ever hope to see. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but if somehow you have never seen Batman the Animated Series, that's your homework. See it. But what are your favorite movies based on TV shows? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say about it. Also, please be sure to check out the fellow movie nerds in the club. Their videos will be linked in the description of this video. Go check them out. And if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. And if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way, when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.